This article, written by Bill Cope and Mary Calancis, presents what is new about new media and how these new medias can be used to foster what the authors call new learning. The authors discuss new media in terms of 4 dimensions: agency, divergence, multimodality, and conceptualization. The first dimension of new media is agency, which is the aspect of new media that allows the audience to become the user, and then the user to become the creator. There has been a shift from command and compliance to reflexive co-construction. Along with this change has come differing norms and a less rigid standard of normal. Individuality is desirable and often required. The second dimension of new media is divergence. The new media provide channels for differences to represent themselves. The authors point out that the web allows everyone a voice, regardless of their skill level. Mass production has turned into mass customization, and knowledge and culture have become fluid and open. The third dimension of new media, multimodality, is what allows meaning to be reduced to a pixel. The authors mention that earlier attempts to combine sound and image, for example, took years to achieve and required new equipment to use. Today, sound, image, text, and video can all be stored digitally and used together in any combination. The fourth and last dimension of new media is conceptualization, which is the term used for the kind of thinking that is required by new media. The modern new media user needs to be able to understand new social and technical architectures, as well learn how to change the way they think and learn about new media. Conceptualization also includes the methods by which digital content is organized: thumbnails, menus, tagging, and others used to structure digital content. New learning. What does this mean for schools? Will the traditional classroom work or even make sense? Let's look at how the 4 dimensions of new media align with new learning. The learning of knowledge was top-down and accepting authoritative universal knowledge as truth. This logic does not fit with the logic of the new media. If education is to be relevant to contemporary social needs and personal dispositions, it has to conceive schools as knowledge-producing communities and create in learners a sense that they themselves are knowledge producers. In the case of teachers, the digital media allow them to be designers of pedagogy and builders of learning content. Textbooks, which followed the syllabus, were designed to be followed by teachers, and these were in turn followed by learners. In the case of learners, they could draw on a variety of resources, digitally accessible information, or their community and environment. They can then actively make knowledge in its various modes and permutations. They would be just as reliant on knowledge sources, but rebuild knowledge themselves in an active and engaging way. They themselves become the expert. The digital world will support this through accessing, recording, sharing, working collaboratively, and publishing. The key shift, though, is not the medium, but the capacity of the medium to support learners to be knowledge producers rather than knowledge consumers. The old one-size-fits-all, on the same page curriculum is no longer necessary in the context of new media. Nor is it a good idea in a world of endemic divergence. Historically, modern schooling did all it could to remove or ignore differences, with the teacher at the front of the room and the test at the end of the term. Today, differences exist and are recognized in our schools. New learning recognizes this pluralism and develops strategies to include diversity without prejudice. Using media is a good solution. Modern schooling attached media to different subjects in school. Text was for writing, images were for art. Instead of embracing the preschool's multimodal environment, it was separated out. Through the use of digital tools and media, synesthesia mimics our rich multimodal life. Multimodal work enables students to have a more inclusive, deeper understanding. By seeing, hearing, feeling, communicating the meaning of information in a way that better parallels real life, it becomes more real. Didactic pedagogy taught facts assembled into disciplinary shape and unveiled to learners in theoretical sequence. In the 20th century, a less abstract, authentic pedagogy emphasized experiential learning through doing, demonstration. The new learning engages the learner as a co-constructor of concepts, as definer, theory maker, critic, and analyst. Some of the new learning is also reminiscent of authentic education, when learners connect knowledge with personal experience, and are immersed in new experiences and are asked to apply their learning in real-world contexts. The possibilities are just beginning to be realized. New learning practices are nearing a needed reality in education. Although new technology is being used in our schools, it is being applied in the old ways. We have been misled and need to look again at the fundamentals of new media. Our students are already there and waiting, but they can't do it alone.